At the time that I'm making this video, it's been over 20 years since Buds Class 234 first underwent their training to become Navy SEALs. Naturally, this brings up the question, where are these guys now? Did they complete the rest of their training? Did they go into combat? And if so, did they make it back home safely? Well, I took it upon myself to find out, and after countless hours of combing through obscure websites, news articles, and LinkedIn bios, my video was taken down for copyright infringement. So I've decided to redo this video, this time with more improved and updated information, and of course without the copyrighted footage. Keep in mind that all the following information is available publicly online, and even so, I've decided to withhold any information that I felt was too personal. Justin Legg, aka Papa Smurf, was one of the officers in the documentary who had quite a bit of screen time. You might remember him in an iconic moment where he shouts, "It pays to be a winner," when asked why his boat crew finished first. He had an admirable can-do mentality and mental toughness, and somehow seemed to thrive in the punishing environment of Buds. I actually found quite a bit of information about Justin, and his story is quite remarkable. Justin graduated Buds in 2000, along with Class 234. From there, he deployed twice to the Middle East as a member of SEAL Team 7, including a 7-month tour during Operation Iraqi Freedom.
So I got in with that platoon. We deployed to Iraq in 2003. Huge target, lots of buildings, lots of rooms. And so I had to kick through this big door with, chain around it. As soon as I walked into the room, I immediately started to get the response to feel like I had to vomit. So I turned around, kept everybody else from coming in the room, started vomiting. Talking with doctors much, much later, they believe that I was introduced to a very small dose of a nerve agent.
In 2006, 5 months after marrying his wife, he was diagnosed with leukemia and was subjected to bouts of chemotherapy and radiation treatments, as well as a bone marrow transplant.
And the first thing my wife sees on the screen is something about leukemia. She's like, "Justin, why does that say leukemia?" I'm like, "Leukemia is cancer. I don't have cancer." Doc walks in, sits down, looks right at me and goes, "You have cancer." Wow. Wow, that's a hammer to the chest. First thing I do is say, "Can I still be a SEAL?" And she says, "No." When I asked, "How many SEALs have you treated before?" She said, "None. You're my first." I was like, "Well, watch this."
Despite these challenges, he fought to stay active with the SEALs, carrying out assignments in Virginia. However, 2 years later, his bone marrow transplant turned against him as the donor's bone marrow attacked his body.
A disease called graft versus host disease. So it attacked my eyes, my skin, my whole digestive tract, my liver, and my lungs.
Again, Justin's fighting spirit would not be crushed, and he recovered enough to become an operational SEAL platoon commander of SEAL Team 8. Afterwards, he was medically retired and survived a double lung transplant and a 2-week coma from yet another bout of cancer. After recovering, Justin went on to run 3 half marathons and became the only double lung transplant member to climb Mount Denali in Alaska, which is the tallest mountain in the United States. As of now, he continues to work as a consultant for renewable energy, and he also works as a motivational speaker. Instructor Patstone seems to be one of the fan favorites in the documentary and has managed to gather quite a few internet admirers due to his wry sense of humor and killer mustache. In the documentary, he refers to his pulse oximeter as his machine of knowledge, and if you're falling behind in the run, chances are he'll follow you slowly in the truck while playing mariachi band music while telling you to hurry up and don't fall back. As far as I can tell, he's the only member of the documentary who actually has his own fan art and has ascended to a Chuck Norris-like status within the internet community. So I spent some time digging around, but unfortunately I couldn't find much information on him. I did find that he was actually an accomplished wrestler, qualifying for the 1986 NCAA Division I wrestling tournament in Iowa. I also found this picture on Reddit, which some people believe is a picture of younger Instructor Patstone. He's also briefly mentioned in this book, The Forging of Class 228. As far as his current whereabouts, some anecdotal evidence seemed to suggest that he is currently a rugby coach for a high school team. Eventually, thanks to OperationMilitaryKids.org, I was able to track down an article published in 2013 that confirms this. Sadly, Instructor Patstone's mustache and face are hidden behind one of the kids in the picture. There's another picture on the article, but I don't think Instructor Patstone is in it. Travis Lively was one of the candidates who stood out because of his positive attitude. No matter how difficult the situation got, you could always count on Travis to lighten the mood. Eventually this was noticed by others, and he became somewhat of a role model for other candidates. When asked about his thoughts on Hell Week, he said, "First of all, you don't have to wake up in the morning, and that's the hardest part of the day. Second of all, they feed me 4 times a day, I don't have to stand room inspection, no timed evolutions. To me, Hell Week is one of the easiest things I can do in buds." After graduating with Class 234, Lively served for 10 years in the Navy SEALs. Starting in 2007, he worked in the defense and aerospace industry on unmanned airborne systems. From there, he went on to become a professional screenwriter and producer, which is what I believe he still does today. He's also made cameos in some documentaries, and he also has his own IMDb page. He's also made some appearances on a few internet podcasts. Overall, it seems like he's doing well. Instructor M was an instructor and corpsman who received quite a bit of screen time in the documentary. You might remember him during the dive phase where he was pulling unconscious candidates from the water. I also thought he kinda looked like Freddie Mercury. During one part of the documentary, he states, "We are losing more people because they quit than we are because of medical reasons, which is what I want to see. I don't want to see a training program that's just beating someone down. Anyone can make anyone run until they break, but that's not what this is all about. This is about giving them the same training that I went through and letting them make that decision based on a choice and not because they're injured." According to his LinkedIn, Instructor M served in the Navy SEALs as a hospital corpsman and instructor from 1984 until 2003. During these 20 years, he deployed in over 5 platoons and supported U.S. Army intelligence gathering missions in Bosnia. Afterwards, he went on to become a military multimedia producer, weapons tactics instructor, drone instructor, and drone pilot. As of 2021, he is working as a range master, instructor, and security officer at an advanced security company. So, Potter is iconically known for the moment where he's trying to answer a math question while suffering the effects of hypothermia. To check on his condition, Instructor Patstone asks him what 6 times 3 is, and it takes around 12 seconds for Potter to answer, as his brain is shutting down from the cold. This moment was even featured in the opening credits for the movie Lone Survivor. Despite almost freezing to death, Potter stuck it out and graduated with Class 234. I was not able to find much information on Potter's whereabouts these days, but I did find his LinkedIn profile. All it states is that he's currently still active in the Navy. He also made an appearance during the 2019 reunion for Buds Class 234. According to OperationMilitaryKids.org, there are 2 confirmed deaths from members of the documentary. Edward Austin Koth was a member of Class 234, but dropped on the first day of Hell Week. However, dropping out of Buds was not the end of his military career. Koth went on to become a Navy EOD, or Explosives Ordnance Disposal Technician. He deployed to Iraq in 2003, where he worked on neutralizing explosives, including underwater mines. Sadly, on July 26, 2006, he was killed by an ordnance explosion during a disposal operation. He was about 3 weeks away from completing his second tour. Before my original video was taken down, I received a couple comments from people claiming to have known Koth. You can pause the video and read them if you'd like. The second person is Kathryn Fleming. Now you might not recognize who she is, but she's actually the narrator of the documentary. She was an American actress, voice artist, and singer. Fleming died on December 14, 2006, during a flash flood that trapped her in her house. Alright everyone, so obviously there are many more members of Class 234 who I didn't have time to get to in this video, so I might consider making a part 2 depending on how this video does. So if you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like or comment below, and that way I'll be able to gauge whether I should make a part 2 or not. I really feel like the internet community is what's still keeping this documentary alive, and if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't have even known this documentary existed in the first place. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one.